All right, gather up, you glitch-in-the-system minds. You walk-in bugs in their perfect little program. You stubborn freaks who refuse to shut your brain off. This one's for you. You just pulled a forbidden logic, Bellew. And the info guardians are big mad. You felt that shift, didn't you? That moment where a thought popped into your head and you went, wait, that doesn't line up with what they keep telling me. And instead of muting it, instead of stuffing it down like you usually do, you followed it. That's your crime. Not violence, not chaos, not destruction. Your crime is that you thought too clearly. They can handle your emotions. They can sedate those. They can handle your distractions. They can feed those. They can handle your laziness. They actually rely on that. What they cannot handle is you thinking in a way they never trained you to think. You pulled a forbidden logic, W. You connected dots they kept in different rooms on purpose. At school they said, memorize this, regurgitate that. Don't mix this subject with that one. Don't ask why the system itself exists. Focus on the test. In life, they said, get the job, follow the script. Don't question the script. Just chase the next little badge of validation and shut up about the bigger picture. In society, they said, trust the experts, trust the headlines, trust the default settings, trust the algorithm. Don't read behind it. Don't compare. Don't cross-reference. You'll only confuse yourself. And then you disrespectful little anomaly, you went, wait, what if the confusion is actually their fear of me seeing too much? You felt it. That internal click, that alignment, a thought so clean it sliced through your confusion like a knife. And it scared you for a second because it didn't come from a teacher or a book or a video or a guru. It came from you. That's forbidden logic. Logic that isn't pre-approved. Logic that doesn't come with a smiley face stamp from some authority figure. And the info guardians, the ones that sit on top of the narrative, policing which ideas are smart and which ones are dangerous. They are big mad right now. They're not mad that you're wrong. They're mad that you stopped needing them to tell you what's right. Think about how they trained you. When you were a kid, every why got shut down with, because that's just how it is. Every time you noticed an inconsistency, you got, you're overthinking. Every gut feeling that something was off got smothered with, you're being dramatic. They didn't debate you. They didn't show you where you were mistaken. They invalidated you because the goal was never to sharpen your mind. The goal was to domesticate it. You weren't being educated. You were being house-trained. Sit, stay, repeat after me. Don't bite the hand that feeds you information. And yet here you are, biting. You looked at the script and went, hold on, this doesn't benefit me. This benefits them. You question the way they frame success. You question the way they frame failure. You question the way they frame crazy, selfish, lazy, unrealistic. You notice that all the words they use to shame you line up perfectly with anything that makes you harder to control. Isn't that interesting? You called out a pattern. You saw the same manipulation tactic applied in school, in media, in relationships. Same guilt, same shame, same script, different actors, and your brain snapped into a new mode, forbidden logic. Maybe the problem isn't that I'm broken. Maybe the problem is that I don't fit in a rigged environment that relies on me doubting myself. That single thought, that's what has the info guardians rattled. Because once you taste that kind of clarity, you become a threat. Not because you're loud, not because you're violent, because you're immune. The same tricks don't work. The same slogans don't work. The same shame doesn't land. You hear, you're being selfish, and instead of collapsing, you go, define selfish. Do you mean I'm no longer sacrificing my sanity for your comfort? You hear, you're crazy, and instead of panicking, you go, crazy compared to who? The people sleepwalking through their own life. You hear, you're overthinking, and instead of shrinking, you go, overthinking or just thinking past the point you're comfortable with. You flipped the script. You forced them to defend their labels. The guardians of information exist on one fragile assumption that you never question their logic as aggressively as they question yours, and you did the unthinkable. You questioned upward. You took that same scrutiny you used to turn against yourself and aimed it right back at the structures that made you hate your own mind. That's forbidden. That's what hurts them. You used to spiral alone at night, wondering, am I dumb? Am I behind? Am I just not built for this world? You used to crush yourself with guilt. I should work harder. I should try to fit their mold. I should stop thinking these weird thoughts. Then that forbidden logic hit. Greater than, if this world is killing my spirit, greater than maybe my weird thoughts are not the disease. Maybe they're the antidote. You see it, don't you? The moment you treat your thoughts as valid data, their whole setup gets shaky. How do you control someone who trusts their own internal lab results more than your manipulated chart? You started asking questions that cut too deep. Who profits when I hate myself? Who benefits when I stay exhausted and numb? Who gains when I label every instinct as overreaction? Those questions expose power. The Info Guardians survive by making power invisible. If you never see it, you never challenge it. You dragged it into the light with logic, not emotion, not tantrums, not conspiracy noise. Literally, this does not add up. That's what they fear. Not chaos, not rebellion for its own sake, but calm, ruthless clarity. You think you're lost, behind, messy. They see you as a rapidly stabilizing glitch. You think, I'm just trying to figure out my life. They see, uh-oh, this one is starting to see the pattern behind the patterns. You think, I'm confused. They see, their confusion is turning into map-making. You're dangerous. You're starting to hold two things in your mind at once. I've made mistakes. The environment was rigged against me. And instead of choosing one and using it to beat yourself up, you're using both to build strategy. That's forbidden. You're not supposed to be that nuanced. You're supposed to either worship the system or blame it for everything and stay powerless. You did something worse. You saw the system and you saw yourself. You saw how they primed you to ignore your instincts. Every time something felt off, you were taught to gaslight yourself. It's probably nothing. I'm being dramatic. I'm just insecure. Yet those same instincts, had you listened, would have saved years of being drained by fake friends, fake mentors, fake leaders, fake lifestyles. You realize that, and a new kind of anger wakes up. Not the unhinged kind that destroys everything in sight. The cold kind, the calculated kind. You start asking, how many times did I betray myself to keep other people comfortable? How many times did I dumb myself down to avoid being called difficult? You remember being in class, asking a question, and the whole room turning on you with that look. Why would you ask that? Just accept it. You remember being in a relationship, pointing out a pattern of manipulation, and suddenly you became the problem. Too sensitive, too paranoid, too intense. Every time you got close to forbidden logic, they used shame like a fire extinguisher, and you felt crazy. You thought, maybe I should stop. But something in you refused. That stubborn piece of you, the one they call difficult, that's the part that saved you. That part that kept you asking, kept you noticing, kept you double-checking the maths of life. And here you are, older, more tired, more bruised, but also more awake than you have ever been. You look at the same slogans they feed everyone else. Just be realistic. Just follow the steps. Just trust the process. And your brain fires back. Realistic based on whose life? Steps that lead to whose benefit? Process designed by who and for what? You turned just into a red flag. Every just from their mouths means, don't think about it too hard, which means you're getting close to something we don't want you to see. You turned their whole language into a code book. You cracked it. That's what a forbidden logic W looks like. It's not just a clever idea. It's when you decode the way they frame reality, and you refuse to download it blindly ever again. They call it negativity. They call it lack of faith. They call it rebellious. Call it what it is, consciousness. You're not cynical. You're done being hypnotized. You've started to realize something terrifyingly empowering. You were easier to control when you were sad, but you are harder to control when you are self-respecting. Deep down, you know, a person who respects themselves questions the contract they're signing with the world. You started reading the fine print. Give us your time, your energy, your focus, and in return, we'll give you anxiety, burnout, and a false sense of security. That used to sound normal. That used to sound like adulthood. It looks ridiculous to you now. That's forbidden logic. You're looking at your own life and going, if this is the reward for obedience, why am I still worshipping obedience? You turned your pain into data. Instead of treating your breakdowns like random malfunctions, you treated them like alarms, sirens, warnings. Something in you kept screaming, this reality is too small for my mind. They told you to meditate it away, affirm it away, focus on gratitude, which really meant stop noticing the cage. You did something different. You stared at the bars. You measured them. You calculated stress points. You looked for rust. You became the worst kind of prisoner, the one planning. And your plan isn't burning everything down. Your plan is much worse for them. Your plan is, I will become so internally clear that no trick, no slogan, no cheap guilt trip can override my logic ever again. You're building mental armor from every time they tried to make you feel insane for seeing the obvious. You remember the gaslighting in detail, not to stay a victim, but to never fall for it again. You're starting to enjoy it, aren't you? That feeling when somebody tries to manipulate you and you spot the pattern in real time. You feel that quiet smirk on the inside. Oh, I know this move. You want me to doubt myself. You want me to collapse. You want me to feel like the crazy one again. And instead, you hold your ground. You don't scream. You don't beg. You don't over-explain. You just refuse to participate in the distortion. That's terrifying to them, because in that moment, they're not fighting your emotions anymore. They're fighting your clarity, and clarity doesn't argue. Clarity doesn't plead. Clarity doesn't bend itself into knots to be liked. Clarity just stands there like, I know what I see. The info guardians don't have a counter for that. They have strategies for insecure you, guilty you, confused you. Not this version. This version of you sits in silence and lets their whole charade echo awkwardly in the air. You watch them scramble, reframe, backpedal, switch tones. You watch their mask glitch. Because your forbidden logic isn't just about ideas in your head. It's also about patterns in behavior. You see how the same friend who claps when you're struggling goes quiet when you improve. You see how the same mentor who loves you dependent gets cold when you start making moves without their permission. You see how the same system that called you lazy gave you zero tools to manage burnout or meaning. You stopped taking everything personally. You started taking it structurally. Instead of, "What's wrong with me?" you upgraded to, "What's wrong with this dynamic?" That's the shift. That's the forbidden W that no one can uninstall. You realized you are not broken for struggling in a setup that was not built for your mind. Your intensity is a problem for people who profit from your numbness. Your curiosity is a threat to people who feed on your confusion. Your self-respect is a direct attack on anyone who survives off your low standards. You're starting to get it. Every time your mind breaks out of one mental cage, another group of guardians appears, telling you to stop going too far. First it was parents, then teachers, then bosses, then social media, then experts. Different faces, same message. Don't think past the point where we lose control of you. Yet here you are, crossing that point repeatedly. You're not perfect. You still doubt yourself. You still stumble. You still have days where you feel like a fraud. Difference is, you recover faster. You notice the self-hate script loading up, and your forbidden logic interrupts. Wait, who taught me to talk to myself like this? Whose voice is this, really? You trace it. You follow the echo. You realize that your inner bully sounds suspiciously like someone who once benefited from you feeling small. You treat that realization like evidence. You put it on the stand. You interrogate it. And that dark, unsettling conclusion comes back. You were never just fighting your own mind. You are fighting the residue of other people's control in your mind. The info guardians don't just exist out there in institutions and screens and systems. They set up camp in your self-talk. Every time you catch one and kick it out, your mind gets quieter, cleaner, sharper. You feel that eerie calm, the kind that used to scare you because you thought constant anxiety was just your personality. You start to realize peace isn't boring. Peace is actually dangerous, because when your nervous system isn't constantly in fight or flight, you start asking strategic questions like, what can I build with all this energy I used to waste hating myself? This is where they really panic. They don't mind you waking up a little, as long as you stay stuck in anger and despair. They don't mind you calling the system trash, as long as you still feel too powerless to do anything meaningful about it. But your forbidden logic is dragging you past despair into design. You spend less time arguing in comment sections, more time building skills, less time begging people to validate your pain, more time turning that pain into fuel for clear boundaries, better decisions, higher standards. You stop obsessing over being understood by everyone and start obsessing over being understood by yourself. Look at what you're doing. You're taking every dark piece of your story, every moment of being dismissed, lied to, manipulated, gaslit, and you're stacking them like bricks, building a tower of proof that your perception was never the enemy. You were just surrounded by people and structures that needed you blind. You're not the villain of your life. You're the witness. You're the analyst. You're the one collecting receipts. And that version of you, the one who remembers exactly how it felt to be doubted, to be mocked, to be ignored, to be punished for asking honest questions. That version of you is lethal because they will never again casually hand their mind over to anybody. You might listen, you might learn, you might update. You just won't submit. Not blindly, not automatically. The info guardians are big mad because you've turned into the one thing they can't script. An independent thinker with scars, receipts, and zero interest in going back to sleep. Your logic is forbidden because it doesn't start with, what do they want me to believe? It starts with, what actually matches reality, including the parts everyone keeps telling me to ignore. You cross-check their stories with your lived experience. You notice the mismatch. You trust that mismatch. That is your new religion. Alignment between what you're told and what you actually witness. Anything that doesn't line up gets questioned. Hard. That's the power. You pulled a forbidden logic W, and they are panicking because they know something you don't fully realize yet. If you ever truly commit to this version of thinking, if you ever fully stand on the idea that your mind is not the enemy, if you keep sharpening this clarity, one day you will look back at your old life, and it won't even feel like you anymore. It'll feel like a character you were forced to play in a story somebody else wrote. You're not in that story anymore. You're editing the script. You're writing new pages. Stay with that. Stay with the discomfort. Stay with the questions that refuse to shut up. The fact that the info guardians are this mad should tell you something simple and terrifyingly beautiful. Your mind, the one they called too much, is finally starting to operate at the level they hoped you'd never reach. And you're only just getting warmed up. Which is exactly why everything in your life is starting to feel misaligned with who you're becoming. You look around, and all the things that used to keep you distracted, used to keep you half asleep, start to look cheap. Empty conversations feel louder. Fake smiles feel heavier. Surface-level advice feels almost insulting. You sit in rooms you used to tolerate and feel that quiet inner voice go, yeah, I'm not supposed to rot here. You can't unsee it. That forbidden logic you pulled, it didn't just give you a new idea, it gave you a new lens. Every interaction gets scanned. Every offer gets scanned. Every expectation gets scanned. Who benefits if I believe this? Who benefits if I stay like this? Who benefits if I keep pretending this is fine? The answer keeps coming back clearer and clearer. Not you. You start recognizing patterns that used to fly right over your head. You notice how every time you get close to making a real move on your life, someone suddenly hits you with a guilt trip, a sob story, a distraction, a crisis that magically requires you to drop everything and rush in as the emotionally available doormat. You notice how they only call you selfish when you're doing something that actually